With the COVID-19 pandemic still at large, everything is at a standstill as days turn into months of uncertainty. Filipinos throughout the country struggle to keep themselves afloat. In these trying times, we are called to come together as one, to thrive amidst the challenges that we face. Malayan College's Laguna is steadfast in its efforts to continue surpassing the limits brought about by the situation, dedicating ourselves anew to provide a safe learning environment that would transform our students into globally competitive professionals, even in the most trying of times. Malayan College's Laguna, lighting the way to surpassing the new normal.
Good afternoon to our students, our current students of Malayan Colleges Laguna Amapua School. I am Professor James Ronald Messina, and I will be hosting this afternoon session. We call it CyberTalks, an online meeting for our current students. So on behalf of the administrators of MCL, I hope you are doing well and good and safe also in your homes. So I am here with Professor Angelito Platino. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. So and also we have Sir Valor Sorisantos here to join us in the discussion later if you have specific concerns on student services and academic services. So I do understand that there are a lot of concerns since May 2020 about so many things about Malayan Colleges Laguna and about our academic services. That's why we are making this program, CyberTalks, and hindi lang po ito ngayon, we are making it a regular program wherein you can actually have a dialogue with the different frontline offices of MCL so that if you have different concerns, we can attend to them. Ayan. So, definitely, we have opened our helplines, but I have been receiving a lot of questions and feedback na hindi daw nakakasagot yung helplines and masyadong maraming mga concerns. So, gusto ko humingi ng apologies to our students that yung mga helplines natin ay available lamang during the business hours of MCL, which we have adjusted starting July 1, 2020. So, 9 o'clock lang to 3 p.m. from Tuesday to Friday, and during Saturdays, we only have 9 to 12 noon. So, alam naman natin that the IATF and the government actually ordered institutions, companies, and agencies to operate on a skeleton force. That's why even our employees are also taking skeleton workforce yung ating mga frontline offices. So please bear with us. So we are trying to improve this services in the new normal. So konting patience lang, MCL students, as we improve these systems and processes. So for CyberTalks, we will be focusing on our enrollment procedures. So you might have already seen in our Facebook page that we have released already the announcement on the calendar of enrollment activities for the first term of academic year 2020-2021. So current students ang target audience natin for CyberTalk. So baka meron dito mga excited na freshman students dito na nag-join. So, ito ay para sa current students. Ibig sabihin, yung incoming grade 12 at saka yung ating mga college students. So, just to level the expectations, we will be talking about the enrollment procedures for our current students and also some inputs on scholarships, on financial assistance, and yung mga concerns ninyo about IP grades, about ano pa ba yung mga common concerns ng mga students sir dito na natatanggap ng SAU for the past few weeks.
Ang karaniwang tanong, siguro it's because they think this is going to be the first time na sila ay mapapasama, no, sa ating academic scholars o sa ating grantees na academic achievement incentive. So baka hindi pa sila sanay sa usual na ginagawa natin dito. Na we no longer actually kasi post a list, no, publicly through Facebook and many other social media platforms natin, for the reason that meron tayong sinusunod na Data Privacy Act ngayon. So, mamaya ipapaliwanag natin kung ano ang ating ginagawang steps para yung ating mga qualified students. Ipapaliwanag ko rin siguro mamaya yung ano yung qualification. Kasi meron tayo, Sir James, interim qualification ngayon eh.
Okay.
Dahil kung matatanda mo, dahil pandemic, medyo ibinaba ng school, no, yung pwedeng maging scholar. I mean, hindi naman ito ibig sabihin parang pinababa natin yung standard of scholarship natin. It's just that we do understand yung current situation ng mga students natin. So, mamaya I'll be explaining that kung ano yun, kung baka may mga hindi nakaba. Actually, maraming hindi nila siguro na browse lang and then hindi nila nakita yung part na yon na binaba natin yung pwedeng maging scholar ngayon.
Okay. So ano ba yan, sir? Good news ba yun? Parang ito good news.
Good news yun. Kasi kung halimbawa, top 10% yan, at ikaw ay 1.79, pwede kang maging scholar.
Okay.
O,
So
ngayon,
good news nga.
kung ikaw naman ay senior high school at pasok ka sa top 10%, tapos 88 lang yung nakuha mo kasi hanggang 88 allowed dyan, then good news yan. No? Ang mabigat lang yung competition talaga.
Okay.
No? Kasi pag in the past, pag ina-analyze ko yung mga grades, talagang sobrang tindi ng competition sa taas. Ang taas talagang nag-a-aspire ang mga students natin makakuha ng scholarship. So yung iba they're thinking, mataas na sila, but hindi sila naging scholar. It's because meron pa rin mas mataas sa kanila.
Okay. So definitely will be ranking them pa rin.
Yes, sir. So yun, yung top 10% sa rank. Of course, dapat walang disciplinary actions taken against them during the term. Magka-qualify sila. So, iba siguro dyan, medyo nararamdaman na lang. Usapan lang dyan, pasok ba yung ganung kataas na grade sa top 10%?
Yeah, okay. So, maybe we can start from your presentation for, is that about the scholarship? Or mauna muna yung enrollment?
Ikaw, sir, ano bang enrollment muna or...
Okay lang, kahit ano. So, we'll start muna with the enrollment kasi medyo yun yung concern nila ngayon.
Para dire-diretso.
Yeah, i-segue natin siya later on the scholarship. Okay, so again, this is CyberTalks and this online meeting is intended for our current students to be updated on various issues and procedures about enrollment. So, maybe we can start with our presentation for student enrollment. So, we will be flashing the PowerPoint presentation, even though we understand that a lot of students are actually waiting for the guidelines. So we promised to post the guidelines last July 25. But since we organized the CyberTalks, ang sabi namin, preno muna so that we can have the feedback from the CyberTalks and we can incorporate them in the guidelines that we will be releasing for for old student enrollment. Okay? So for our presentation, so feel free to post your questions on our live event Q&A. So meron tanong dito na may instructions na po ba for graduating students or students with 0 units? And there's a thumbs up. Di ba? May nag-thumbs up dito. So For senior high school students and for college students who are supposed to be graduating, baka hindi nyo pa alam, we decided to cancel the graduation ceremonies this August. So that's the very difficult decision that the academic council members have to make, and we already gave that directive na hindi muna tayo magkakaroon ng commencement exercises for this year. However, we understand that the graduates, especially the college, they need to join the workforce now, and they are asking for their credentials. So we are releasing the credentials. Ang nagpapatagal lang ay yung completion ng mga graduating students. So para lang ma-appreciate ng ating mga graduating students, number one, meron tayong proseso na tinatawag na Academic Council Declaration of Graduates. So lahat ng mga nag-zero units, generate yan ng Registrar's Office, and we are submitting the list to the Academic Council for the declaration. And that's the time that the council will say, okay, graduate na yung mga students na yan, pwede na kayong mag-clearance. So dalawang proseso yon, Academic Council Declaration and clearance. For the Academic Council Declaration, we set the date, I think that's second week of August for the declaration. So may mga nagtatanong, bakit po sobrang tagal? Graduate pa kami, natapos pa yung third term noong July 4. Normally, 1 month talaga yan. After the end of the terminal trimester, for example, 1 month yung clearing of records and academic council declaration. So hindi yan sobrang tagal. That's the regular timeline for the declaration of graduates. And we are working double time now with the colleges and the academic units because alam naman natin na part of the interim procedures last third term is the IP or the in-progress grade for our students, and affected niyan yung mga graduating students. So, sabi ko nga, baka mga sa dito, baka mga teachers lang, o MCL lang, o deans lang ang nagmamadaling magpa-graduate. Kasi unfortunately, we have graduating students na may mga naiwang courses with IP grades. So technically, hindi sila zero yung remaining units nila. And tomorrow, July 29, is the deadline. Hindi namin ito in-announce because we want the colleges, the program chairs to inform the graduating students that you have until July 29 to complete or to convert all your IP grades if you want to be declared as graduates of the third term.
So ito Sir James, parang leeway ito eh. No?
Yes.
Kasi supposedly
May cut-off dapat yan. Dapat po July 4.
Or even dapat third term tinapos mo yan eh.
Yes.
But you will still be declared graduate of third term kahit na parang na-complete mo siya during third term.
Yeah.
So it's still a leeway.
So part pa rin yan ng extended learning time that we committed to our students. So yun, so July 29 is the deadline for the conversion of IP grades, at least at the college level, meaning to say, ito maraming tanong dito sa Lito, ano gagawin pag may IP grades, both senior high school and college? All you have to do is to contact your teacher, your instructor for that course, so that you will be given the task to complete the course where you got the IP grade. So, para mabilis yung ating communication at hindi tayo na-frustrate sa napakatagal, kasi the Registrar's Office is receiving thousands of emails na ngayon because of that. We have 6,000 students. Pagpalagay lang natin na 1/4 niya ng may IP grade. At lahat yun ay 10% man lang nun o 20% lang nun mag-i-email sa Registrar's Office. Hindi na talaga kayo masasagot dahil wala naman tayong robot na sumasagot sa mga emails. So, mahirap, definitely. So ngayon, we're saying it, wag na po natin i-email, i-contact ang Student Affairs Office, ang Registrar's Office, ang Guidance and Counseling, Center for Guidance and Counseling, just to ask about the IP. Because it was made clear in the advisory last May that the completion will be what? Purely academic. All you have to do is to contact the instructor for the completion task and do the completion task as agreed. So, Ang trabaho lang po dyan ng Registrar's Office, pag meron na kayong completion task, baguhin yung grade. Pero yung dynamics ng anong requirement, anong mga assignments ang dapat ipasa sa Blackboard Learn or kung whatever email ba yan, ang magde-decide po doon ay yung faculty members concerned. So, please get in touch with the colleges, with the program chair or with the faculty member who gave you the IP grade so that you can work out the completion task until tomorrow. Again, if you are intending to be considered as graduate for the third term. So baka sasabihin ng iba dyan ay bakit? Akala ko ba hanggang November yung extended learning time, but ngayon may July 29. Pwede yan hanggang November, pero again, kung gusto ninyo maging considered as third term graduate, and you will be declared and issued the graduate credentials, then you need to complete that before the declaration of graduate. So, paki-work out na po natin yon para matapos natin yung mga dependencies na yan. Pag hindi kompleto ang grades, obviously, hindi 0 units. Pag hindi 0 units, hindi kayo madedeclare as graduates for the third term. Okay?
So James, meron akong mga na-encounter kasi may mga nag-i-email din sa atin na hindi daw sumasagot yung kanilang professor. Ako ang ina-advise ko sa kanila, and if ever meron sa inyong nakaka-experience ng ganyan, siguro i-follow email nyo and then i-CC ninyo yung inyong program chair tsaka dean. Para, kasi hindi natin alam, baka si professor, baka vacation mode ngayon, or ano. So, maaaring ngayon ng dean at program chair, kontakin sila and tell them na, oy, naghahabol to ng graduation, paki-asikaso naman ito. Something like that.
Yeah.
So, yun ang ina-advise naman natin sa iba.
Okay. So, lalo na yung mga faculty members na walang load ngayong mid-year term.
Tsaka yung mga, basically, yan yung mga part-timer
Yeah.
natin.
And technically, the MCL is not engaged, or they are not engaged to MCL for the mid-year term. But we're not saying na hihinto na yung proseso. So you can email your program chair, you can email the cluster coordinator. Their email addresses are actually posted in the guidelines, posted in the BBL. And you can contact them so that you can get assistance on how to convert the IP grades. Specifically, yung mga graduating students natin, na malamang yung mga teachers nila ay part-timers dahil mga professional courses ito sa college. Sa senior high school naman, actually, mas madali sa inyo because yung adjustments ay nagawa na during the third term. So kung meron mga grade 12 na naiwan ng mga IP grades o kaya naman C1, C2 or INC, please contact the senior high school department. We have Ma'am Tony. Pwede niyo siyang i-email. Nakikita ko, sumasagot siya. Nakasisi kami. And umuusad po. Yun ang bibigay naming assurance sa inyo. Umuusad yung conversion ng IP grades. And the reason why we are here for the CyberTalks is to assure the parents and the current students na gumagana po yung proseso. Baka lang po hindi nyo alam dahil nagbago yung takbo. Kaya sinasabi na po namin ngayon, kung dati pipila kayo sa Registrar's Office para humingi ng forms, idalahin yan sa college para papirmahan, ngayon yan lahat puro email. So, tututusin, mas madali kasi hindi kayo pupunta rito. But, yun po, paunawa lang din dun sa mga faculty members natin dahil ang statistics natin ng students na may IP ay 1,400. Ganon kadami. So,
Person yan.
person. So, kung meron dyan na nagdalawa, tatlong courses na pinga-IP, ganon kadami.
So, pwedeng mag-multiply yan ng mga 5.
Yes. And I guess marami dito ngayon na nakikinig na magpapatotoo, especially from CAS, ETYCB. Meron na kami mga na-receive na mga request for IP grade conversion. So, sila yung magpapatunay na umuusad yung completion process. Basta nakipag-coordinate lang sila doon sa faculty members and college na concerned. Okay? So, ang tanong ay, paano yung instruction for the graduating students? So, first things first, let's wait for the declaration of graduates. After the declaration of graduates, we'll open the clearance period. In the past, we do the clearance process, bibigyan kayo ng clearance form, iikot nyo yan sa mga offices. We will not do that this time. Walang clearance form na matatanggap yung graduating students. Yung list of graduating students na madedeclare ng Academic Council, ang Registrar's Office na ang magpapaklear niyan sa iba't ibang offices, and you will be notified kung meron kayong mga deficiencies. Actually, ang lagi lang namang deficiencies dyan, maybe Sir Lito can discuss this further, kadalasan naman ay finance lang, kung meron kayong mga naiwang bank accounts, or sa student affairs ba sa, ano ba yung kadalasan nagiging deficiency ng mga graduating students?
Basically, ang chine-check lang naman namin, sir, ay kapag kasi sa clearance process natin, syempre dadaan sa amin yan, dadaan sa CGC. Sa amin, on our part, pag wala naman kayong pending case, kini-clear na namin yan, sinasign na namin.
So definitely alam nila.
Alam nila kung may
alam nyo kung meron kayong pending case. So pag may mga ganun, pwedeng gawin ng mga graduating students.
Nako, baka hindi makagraduate yun kasi dadaan sila sa process ng disciplinary.
Okay, pero pag cleared na, ibig sabihin na resolve na yung case.
Sasign na lang yun either ni Sir Christian, Valor Santos is our prefect of discipline, or ako.
Okay, so yun. So ano yan? So no guessing game for our clearance process. Number one, you know, if you have back counts. Diba? Pag may bank account ka, alam mo yan, makikita mo yan sa 1MCL. Kung meron kang pending case, alam mo din yan dahil ikaw yung involved. So, definitely, hindi mo na kailangan hulaan kung makiklear ka. So, ayun yung proseso natin. Hindi na kayo iikot sa offices. Yung list of graduates will be routed to the different offices and they will be giving their respective go signals kung cleared na yung bata. And once it is done, then we will inform you that you are what? You may now request for, ang tawag natin dyan, honorable dismissal. Ibig sabihin, graduate ka na, you are dismissed already from the school honorably because you have no pending financial accountability or no pending case with the Student Affairs Office. So yun yung clearance process basically.
Actually, sir, meron pang isang pinagdadaanan ang mga graduates, no? At kinakailangan to maging proactive kayo, no? Lalo na pagka na-declare na kayo. Ito yung kinakailangan yung dumaan o mag-undergo ng exit interview with our CGC people, ating mga guidance counselors. Now, in the past, during the old normal, tawagin natin, yun na lang, talagang you have to sit down with them face-to-face because they will be asking you some questions about your stay here in MCL and probably the things that you might be, you know, some sort of a new graduate. Ano yung tingin mo gusto mong ihingi pa ng mga advice or counsel na maaari ka nilang magabayan. Pero dahil sa tayo nasa new normal ngayon, Sir James, hindi sila makakapunta dito sa MCL. But of course, ang MCL naman, of course, through the CGC, lahat naman ng departamento ng MCL ay nag-digitalize, no? So, digital na rin, sir, yung interview nila. Kaya lang, ito ay pagsagot nila ng, it's a questionnaire. It's an interview questionnaire. Nasagutan nila yon. Pagka nasagutan na nila yon, it's MS form, no? Pag nasagutan na nila yon and wala nang other queries ang naka-assign na CGC personnel sa kanila, i-clear na sila ng CGC. So, actually, babalik yon sa nakasento sa inyo ngayon eh. Hindi nahawak ng estudyante yung clearance form nila eh. Ibabalik namin yun sa RO and then RO ang patuloy na nagro-route nun eh, if I'm not mistaken. Nagro-route pala, no? If I'm not mistaken. So, kailangan maging proactive tayo ngayon. The moment na tayo ay nadeklara na, we have to be very, very proactive on this. Pag in-email tayo, natanggap natin yung ganyang mga Microsoft Forms, kailangan sagutan kagad natin para bumalik kagad sa office concerned at umiikot ngayon yung ating online clearance.
Okay, so yun, from our end, it's basically simplified. Simplified in the sense na you need not go to MCL just to seek clearance from the different offices. Pero yun nga, kaya hindi natin siya maumpisahan because we need to wait for the declaration of graduates, which I mentioned, natatagalan because of the IP grade conversion of the graduating students, and the deadline we set is July 29. Okay? So let us read some of the questions from our live Q&A. So this is CyberTalks. Basically, we want to solicit questions from the students so that they can be attended to properly, so that magkalinawan tayo on the procedures. Diba? Sabi nga ay lamang ang may alam. Okay? So pag alam natin yung proseso, mas magiging madali para sa atin to comply with the instructions and everything basically. May instructions na po ba? Ito na yun. Saan may babayad? Sa MCL mismo. So we are encouraging off-site payment channels. So we have PayMaya, we have M. Luwilier, Cebuano Luwilier, and RCBC. All the payment instructions are posted in our website under the Treasury Office. So please feel free to check our website for the different instructions on how to do off-site payment channels. Okay? Meron din tayong over-the-counter payments in our Treasury Office. But again, our business hours are only from Tuesdays to Fridays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Okay, so we reduce the number of hours in compliance with the government directive to have skeletal workforce for our employees. And also, we do not want to be a reason for our students and stakeholders to congregate dito sa MCL, na maging dahilan pa tayo na kaya pupunta dito mag-congregate, maging rason para magkaroon ng COVID-19 infection ay dahil nagpuntahan dito. Also, we're doing social and physical distancing in the campus. That's why we need to reduce the capacity of our frontline offices. So we are only accommodating 20 people per time slot. So that's 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3 p.m. So please set your appointments. Our website and our Facebook pages are being updated regularly so that you can set your appointment and visit our frontline offices. Okay? After selecting my section, during the course sectioning, how many days are we given to settle the payment before the selected sections are reset? The default is 48 hours. That's the default, 48 hours or 2 days. Ang tanong ay bakit ganong kaikli? Hindi na tayo matatapos ng enrollment kapag walang deadline. Bukod doon, merong mga students na naghihintay na ma-free up yung mga slots. Ito yung sinasabi ko, sir, dito sa mga students natin, yung ating course sectioning is a free marketplace. So, if one student will be holding the reserve slot for, 5 days, 10 days, and there are some other students who are also willing to take the slot, willing to pay, pero naunahan lang siya on a timing issue kasi may nanguhoard, magiging unfair naman yon dun sa estudyante. That's why to put order to our course sectioning, we are setting only 48 hours for the student to complete the enrollment process. And that is since what? That's since 2008. That's since 2008 when we opened one MCL, that it's the default is 48 hours. Mag-offer po ba ng laboratory courses ngayon? So the Academic Council already decided that most, if not all, of the laboratory courses will be moved to the third term, except for the laboratory courses na pwedeng i-simulate through our advanced softwares. So may mga courses na, may mga laboratory courses na itutuloy for the first term. Pero yung mga hindi pwedeng i-simulate, definitely that will be, na-move na yan sa third term at saka sa second year para hindi na tayo magkaroon ng problema sa laboratory course offerings. Okay? Shifter po ako, nakita ko na nag-reflect yung new curriculum sa 1MCL pero hindi pa po nakamark yung credited na courses. May dapat po ba akong i-email sa RO or magbabago pa po ba yun automatically? Yes. Ganito kasi yung dynamics ng ating enrollment system. Pag nag-open tayo ng new term, may mga ganyang updates na lumalabas sa 1MCL, lalo na yung mga new curriculum, nag-shift, transferee, may mga ganyang issues. Ang tanong, kailangan ko bang email yung RO? For now, wag muna, because after the enrollment period, we are doing what we call post-enrollment system cleanup. And the post-enrollment system cleanup actually corrects and detects the errors in the curriculum. So, hintayin nyo muna yung post-enrollment cleanup. We scheduled that, I think, August 31, mga ganon. Or hindi aabutin ng September. Last week of August, we'll have the post-enrollment system cleanup. So, pag nalinis na yan, itatama na yung mga errors sa 1MCL. Ngayon, kung umabot na ng September, hindi pa rin nababago yung 1MCL, that's the time that you need to email the Registrar's office for possible investigation on your 1MCL account. And that's good news that it's it's becoming a habit for our students to check the 1MCL regularly. Bakit? Because it's the reflection of your enrollment profile. So, please make it a habit to check 1MCL para kung may mga errors, ma-report nyo kagad sa amin and we can correct them. Ang hirap niyan, my dear students, na natapos na yung term, tsaka nyo sasabihin na, bakit wala itong course na to sa load ko? Hindi ako nabigyan ng final grade ng teacher. Yung pala, nagpa-load revision ka, hindi mo binayaran, nung nag-post-enrollment system cleanup, nabura. So, problema yan, definitely, kasi tapos na yung term at di ka nabigyan ng grade. And napakahirap niyang itama kasi dadaan yan sa change of grade procedure and that violates our no sit-in policy.
Okay.
Bakit? Kasi pumasok ka doon sa course na yon na hindi ka officially enrolled. So, pinahamak mo yung teacher. And at the same time, ikaw din na-jeopardize kasi hindi ka mabibigyan ng grade at the end of the term. And kung nung regular term, nung old normal, sabi nga ni Sir dito, madali yung ma-arrest kasi the teacher checks the attendance regularly. Malalaman ng mga estudyante kung sino ang wala sa class list. In the new normal, online learning, medyo mahirap yan. So, para ma-solve yan, magtulungan tayo, please check your 1MCL regularly so that you can give us a feedback if there are errors or discrepancies in your enrollment profile and we can correct them immediately. Okay, so panawagan ko po yan sa lahat ng estudyante, senior high school and college to kindly check your 1MCL regularly. Dalawa yan para malaman ninyo yung mga balances ninyo, finance-related yan, and yung mga enrolled courses nyo for the term.
So, James, nagkakaroon ba tayo? Question lang
Yes.
for the sake of our students. Kasi, I remember merong mga cases that students would only enroll 3 units, 6 units, and then they will pay, and then all of a sudden they will add courses, and then adding fee lang yata yung babayaran.
Yeah, yung load revision fee.
Load revision fee. So, ano dinudulot nito sa ano natin,
Yeah.
sa system natin? And may ginagawa na ba ang school concerning this matter ngayon?
Yeah. So, thank you very much for bringing that up, Sir Lito. Kasi, take note ang enrollment process na natapos yan once you settle the dues or the matriculation fees. And when you settle the matriculation fees, that's the time that your name will be added in the official class list. So if you enroll for 6 units and you apply for revision of course load for, let's say, another 6 units, but you did not settle the matriculation fees, ang impact niyan, wala ka dun sa class list. And pag nagkaroon ng post-enrollment system cleanup, mabubura yung course sectioning data mo na hindi bayad. At ang epekto niyan, ayun nga, attend ka ng klase only to find out that you do not belong to the course and the section, and towards the end of the term, you will not be given a final grade. So, malaki yung epekto niyan, definitely. That's why, ang sekreto dyan ay, let us all be vigilant. Di ba? And, para ka nag-grocery niyan eh. So, kung ano yung binili mo, babayaran mo yun. Di ba? Hindi pwedeng puro add to cart. Hindi yan madedeliver sa'yo ng Lazada kung puro add to cart yan, pero hindi mo siya chine-check out by making the payment. So, ganun din yung ating enrollment system. Yung course sectioning, Bio 1 MCL is adding courses to your cart, but you need to pay the matriculation fees so that you can complete the enrollment process and the system will reflect your name in the official class list. And that's very important for our yung mga babies na current students natin, meaning yung mga mag-i-incoming second year pa lang o yung mga transferees for the past 2 trimesters. Importante yan na maintindihan natin how the system works so that we will not encounter any problem in the enrollment.
So, bali ngayon, Sir James, I expect na ng mga students natin that when they add courses, nag-course revision sila, and then a load revision, and then mag-add sila ng courses, they expect nila na pati yung payment nila parang ma-revise din.
Yes, sir. Kasi lalo na kung adding. Kung adding kasi, definitely meron niyang additional courses. You enroll for additional units, definitely yung matriculation fees madadagdagan din. Kaya yung load revision kasi dalawa yan. Pwedeng add, pwedeng remove. So if you initially enlisted or did course sectioning for 15 units and later on you decided to let go of the 6 units, magkakaroon ng adjustment yung fees. This time, refund ang mangyayari kasi nilet go mo yung 6 units na originally you paid for. Pero iba kwento, kung nag-course sectioning ka, hindi mo binayaran, nag-course sectioning ka ng 15 units, pero hindi ka nagbayad, tapos nag-load revision ka, nag-remove ka ng 6 units, don't expect that you'll get a refund kasi wala ka pa rin naman binabayad in the first place. Ayan.
So, Sir James, ano ba expect ng mga students natin na nag-course load revision yun? Anong mga bagay usually nire-require ninyo dyan?
Yeah, actually yan, importante yan. While later I'll present the schedule for the enrollment. Sabi nga natin, new normal na, so medyo naapektuhan yung enrollment procedures natin because of our remote enrollment system, which we are going to implement for the first term of academic year 2020-2021. For the past 10 years, perhaps, our students have been used to having the Enrollment Services Hub in the auditorium, which is a one-stop shop for all the enrollment transactions. You do the course sectioning there, you do the scholarship validation, you do the payment through our treasury office at the auditorium. Ngayon, walang ganon. Hindi natin magagawa yun. So, ano mangyayari? Yung course sectioning will be Bio 1 MCL. Yung course advising will be through email sa ating mga enrollment advisors and program chairs. Yung payment will be offsite payment channels and pwedeng treasury office over the counter pero highly limited, very limited. So, lahat na apektuhan yung ating mga enrollment procedures. Kaya ang sasabihin ko lang ay para mabawasan natin yung mga manual transactions, you are given the schedule for course sectioning. And that's normally what? That's 12 hours for your batch, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tapusin nyo na lahat doon. Gumalaw na kayo ng gumalaw during the 12 hours na yon. Lumipat na kayo ng section, mag-add remove na kayo during the 12-hour schedule na yon. Because once it closes, papasok na kayo dun sa manual process and we will be requiring endorsement by the college for your load revision. And I would like to make that statement very clear that we are making that procedure more stricter, basically. That we're making that stricter because we do not want the students to be doing merry-go-round during enrollment process na hindi mapakalil, lipat ng section, lipat ng schedule, may nakilalang ka-works, ganito ang schedule, pupunta rin. Hindi tayo matatapos ng enrollment process. So, you are given 12 hours to do course sectioning, you do your course load revision there. After that, you'll go to the manual process and you need to seek the approval of the dean or the program chair for that. And I'm telling the deans and the program chairs, if you think the students are just doing that out of capricho, wala naman dahilan, you are actually allowed to disapprove the request. Kaya fair is fair. You are given 12 hours to do the core sectioning, load revision, non-stop. Pero pagkatapos nun, meron ng mga restriction. So, sundin po natin yon because I want by August 17, which is the start of the classes, we want all students to be settled already with your courses and sections. Alam ko, may mga susundot na tanong dyan. Sir, paano po pag core sectioning, sarado yung courses, di pa binubuksan ng colleges? We are ordering the colleges to open all the core sections during the regular course sectioning schedule, except for petition classes. Why? Because the premise of the petition class is that it is not part of the regular offering. Pero yung mga regular offerings na yon must all be open during the core sectioning schedule. Okay? And that's the watch of my office, the Office for Academic Services, to make it a point that the courses will be open during the core sectioning schedule. Otherwise, nawalang saysay yung free marketplace concept ng ating enrollment. Kasi later on, sasabihin niya, paano ko ipa-finalize yung load ko? Naghihintay pa ako ng mga ganitong course, ng mga ganyan, ng ganito. Once you see the regular courses open and you see the need for yourself to enroll that course, take that course and finalize the course load. Huwag na kayo umasa na ma-open pa yung ibang mga courses kung at the time of the core sectioning ay hindi yan ma-open. Kasi lahat ng hindi open during the core sectioning will already be what? Subject to petition, special classes, and definitely mas mataas yung fees noon. Okay? So yan yung promise natin. Makipagtulungan lang tayo, send us feedbacks. I'm answering the calls and the Facebook messages of the Academic Services Help Desk during enrollment. That's why yung mga concerns ninyo on enrollment are being handled and accommodated immediately. So, yun lang. So, makipagtulungan tayo so that we can make this online enrollment possible and successful. Nagbibigay na po ba kayo ng refund? Yes, dalawa po kasi yan, refund and rebates. If you want to refund, you to file for a refund, you need to apply for it in our treasury office. But if you would like to request for the application of the rebate to the next term, pwede rin po yun. May question tayo dito, sir. Disqualified pa rin po ba sa scholarship kahit na na-convert na yung IP grade to P? That's the question.
Sige. Ganito, no? Nakalagay sa ating interim guidelines for scholarship based on third term grades. I think it's in letter B, section 6, if I'm not mistaken. No? Ang naka-indicate doon that yung may mga IP grades na hindi naman due to errors ng kanilang mga professors at talagang na-obtain nila yung IP grades because they were not able to complete their requirements or to substantially comply with their requirements with their professors. Iginalulungkot kong sabihin, pero based sa ating guidelines, hindi mapapasama sa academic scholarship or academic achievement incentive yung mga students na yun. However, kung yung IP na nakuha ay dala sa pagkakamali ng professor, hindi na i-record yung grade o yung na-submit naman yung isang requirement pero hindi pala nakita ni professor and so forth and so on. Kung ito ay validly rationalized at ito idadaan sa academic council, then yon ay maaaring ma-consider. But if it's just plainly the student failed to comply with the requirements during the third term, malinaw na nakalagay sa guideline natin, hindi siya makakasama sa academic achievement incentive or academic scholarship. So section C and D yung ating sa guidelines. You can check it out sa ating Blackboard Learn accounts. Yan. So, yan yung tungkol sa IP grades natin, sir. Kapag ka nag-incur ang mga students natin ng IP grades, maraming nagtanong sa akin yan even before mag-end ng term. And we kept on reminding students na dapat umiwas sa IP. In fact, nabanggit niya natin, ibinaba yung qualification from 1.75 to 2.00 TWA. And then sa senior high school naman, from 90, binaba sa 88 to give consideration to everybody. Pero yung IP, it's non-negotiable. Kasi scholarship yan eh. When you say scholarship, it has something to do really with being able to comply with the requirements within the time frame allotted or allowed. So pag lumagpas tayo, that's no longer scholarship. Unless, ulitin ko, it was an error on the part of the faculty member. So yun yung ating masasabi tungkol sa ating nagkaroon ng mga IP grades na students.
Okay, so thank you, sir. Good day. I would just like to ask if I can enroll for the next school year kahit po may back account during the last term. So definitely, we do not want the students to have compounded problems because of patong-patong na back accounts. That's why our system does not permit the enrollment of students with back accounts. But our Treasury Office is very proactive in finding ways to help the parents and the students. That's why you can get in touch with them for possible considerations on settlement of your back accounts. That's number one. And we are also offering financial assistance from our partners. So example is bukas.ph. So bukas.ph offers financial assistance in terms of student loans, and they have very flexible payment terms payable in 1 year, 1.5 to 2% interest. That's very cheap kaysa magsangla ATM o kaya ay manghiram, credit card charges, masyadong mas mahal. So yung bukas.ph is offering very competitive rates for our students who would like to enroll for the next academic year. But again, let me make this clear. By default, we do not allow students to have back accounts or rather who have back accounts to enroll for the next trimester. So yun po. Pero sabi nga natin, please get in touch with our Treasury Office. They have a procedure for that on how to assist the students with back accounts to settle these financial obligations with the school. Paano po pag hindi makuha ang card because of IP pa rin ang nakalagay sa 1MCL, pero naipasa na po ang lahat ng requirements for the course? Ayan po, hindi po kasi yan pwedeng parang 7-Eleven na kapag kayo ay nakakuha ng completion na task, natapos ninyo, napasa nyo sa teacher, you are expecting that in 1 hour it will be reflected. Wala pong ganong proseso. Pag nagpasa kayo ng completion task sa teacher, i-check pa yan ng teacher, ipapasa pa yan sa coordinator for review, i-approve pa yan ng senior high school principal kung senior high, ng dean o ng program chair kung college, bago yan ma-endorse sa registrar's office. Ang registrar's office ang magbabalidate at mag-change niyan sa system. And we cannot do that every day. That's why we are setting a schedule or a deadline for the submission at the level of the college and at the level of the registrar's office. Kaya ano po ang gagawin? Hintayin nyo lang na mag-reflect yan. Huwag na po natin kulatin yung mga teacher at coordinator dahil dapat naman simula pa sa umpisa, alam na yan ang lahat ng estudyante. Kapag nakakuha tayo ng CINC, C1, C2, IP grade, ano ang number 1 requirement? Maghintay. Kasi hinintay din kayo ng mga teacher. Diba? Hinintay din kayo ng mga teacher na ipasa yung mga requirements na yon, in-extend yung oras para sa inyo. Para fair is fair, maghihintay din tayo na gumulong yung proseso dahil tayo po ay merong sistema na sinusunod for the conversion and completion of pending grades. Pag sinabing pending grades, ayan yung C1, C2, INC or C for senior high school, for college naman, Ayan yung IP, yung INC, at saka C. Okay? Ayan. So, yun. So, yun yung tanong, rather yung sagot sa tanong on the IP. Will the first term be asynchronous? Both po yan. Simula pa lang ng third term, malinaw na po yan sa guidelines ng ating Vice President for Academic Affairs that we will have synchronous and asynchronous modes. Pag sinabing synchronous, sa dito, kagaya nito, real time. So, the teacher facilitating the class activities real time, that's synchronous. And later on, the recording of the lecture will be posted in Blackboard Learn, so that becomes asynchronous. And all the learning materials are also posted in Blackboard Learn, that's part of the asynchronous learning mode delivery. So both po yan na i-offer ng MCL o na i-offer na yan ng third term, itutuloy po natin yan for the first term of this year. Hi Sir James and Sir Lito, will all laboratory classes be offered only during the third term for this AY? Because it is a big concern for graduating students with only a few units remaining, including some laboratory units. Meron ka bang feedback dito, Sir Lito?
Ang laboratory courses natin ay ganito kasi rationale niyan eh. We are not really very sure as to what government will issue as a directive with regards to pwede na bang mag face-to-face classes ang mga schools. We don't know when it will happen, no? That is why ang school proactive. Ang ginawa ng school, yung mga laboratory courses na talagang practically no, ay hindi maisasagawa through simulation softwares. Itatakda yan at some later terms. To be very safe, malamang yan third term. Unless during the second term siguro, i-allow na ng government ang face-to-face meetings natin. So, ang sagot natin dyan na it depends on the laboratory course. Kung yung laboratory course ay pwedeng i-simulate, may mga softwares available to simulate it, and the students are okay with it, then by all means, pwedeng i-offer yan. Ngayon, kung ang tanong nyo ay, pwede ba naming malaman kung ano yung mga courses na yan na i-offer? Well, malamang pwede nating itanong yan sa nag-o-offer na college, no? So, yung mga nag-o-offer ng laboratories, usually CAS, CCIS, and MIT, if I'm not mistaken, no? I think even ang ETYCB ay nag-o-offer din ng laboratory courses. Sir, ang CNET, may laboratory courses din, no?
Yeah. So, basically, ang concern namin, ang concern niya is sa graduating, di ba? Actually, ganito gawin natin dyan. Padaliin natin yung proseso. Naunawaan namin yung agam-agam ng mga graduating students na paano nga kami, i-offer nyo ng third term yan, graduating kami ng first term. Kaya meron tayong course load advising. Tawagan ninyo, rather email ninyo yung mga program chair ninyo. Gumawa kayo ng representation. Sabihin nyo yan, graduating po kami, ano po ang pwede nating plano for the first term. And definitely, the program chairs will assist you on that. Number one, kung yan ay regular offering for the first term, at kayo ay graduating, the Academic Affairs Department, specifically the colleges, are very open to offering the courses. Pero level natin yung expectations. Bakit? Gusto nyo graduate on time, may mga laboratory courses, sige, i-offer yan ng school, pero let us agree on the terms. Bakit? Kasi baka na mamaya, alam naman natin na fully online yung first term. But you are expecting that when we open the laboratory courses, that will be blended. Hindi nga pwede kasi ang mode natin ay fully online. So, present your case sa mga colleges to your program chairs and definitely we can come up with a win-win solution for that. So, yun lang. Open communication lang ang pwede nating magiging sandata dyan sa bagay na yan.
So, ibig sabihin nun, Sir James, hindi naman napaka-rigid ng school
yes.
to say na, sorry, talagang hindi po pwede.
Yes,
It will
yes.
also depend on the circumstances and the leveling of expectations na maaaring maasahan ng students sa school and ng school sa students.
Yes.
Para right at the onset, malinaw na yung napagkasunduan. No?
Yeah, and I always tell this, people are coming to me reporting about this and that, hindi sila kinakausap or something like that. Ang laging default na sasabihin ko sa inyo, pumunta kayo sa college. Bakit? To be fair, may mga bagay-bagay na hindi nare-represent properly sa college. So, sabihin ninyo kung ano yung kailangan ninyo, sabihin ninyo kung ano yung pwedeng itulong sa inyo ng college. And pag-usapan, we can work things out naman. And we can only do that by talking to your program chairs. There's no point of what? Hold kayo for graduation at this time. Malapit na kayo sa finish line eh. Bakit pa namin kayo i-hold? So, baka meron lang diyang lapses in communication. So, latag natin yung bangahan natin, sabihin natin yung mga pwedeng gawin, sabihin niyo yung mga options na gusto niyo, sabihin niyo hanggang saan kayo willing i-bargain so that we can make things work for our benefit, diba? So, pwede naman yan. Makipag-usap lang tayo. Diba? So, yung mga graduating students na nakikinig, nakikisimpatya kami dyan sa bagay na yan. So, if there are laboratory courses that you need to take for the term, talk to the colleges, talk to your program chairs. So, pag hindi sumasagot yung program chair, email nyo kami ni Sir dito so that we can help you follow up with the program chairs and the colleges.
Pwede naman tayo i-CC, sir.
Definitely. I-CC nyo kami sa email. Hindi yan dahil, hindi yan padrino system. Hindi naman tayo gobyerno. Kundi sa sobrang dami ng sinasagot ng mga program chairs. Minsan, hindi na talaga yan masasagot sa sobrang dami. O kaya naman, ako nagdadrive ako, nag-i-email. Pag minsan hindi ko nasagutan yon, yung email na yon, bukas yan, hindi ko na matatandaan naman ako hindi nasagot. So, number one, sisi niyo yung mga tao para may makatulong na mag-follow up. Isisi, huwag sisihin. Di ba? Number two, maging medyo pasensyoso tayo ng konti. Tayong lahat ay dumadaan sa pandemya at nauunawaan natin na talagang mahirap. Definitely, mainit ang ulo ng mga tao, gusto natin ng mabilisang sagot. Pero yung kagustuhan natin sa mabilisang sagot, napakadami niyang limitasyon. Limitasyon ng technology, limitasyon ng katawan, limitasyon ng pasensya, limitasyon ng napakaraming bagay. So, adjust tayo ng konti, our dear current students, adjust tayo ng konti sa expectations because kaya kami nakikipag-usap sa inyo para mailatag natin yung mga positive at yung mga workable plans that the school would like to present to our students. Definitely, it's not a perfect program. It's not a perfect plan. Wala namang perfectong plan ngayon sa panahon ngayon, di ba? Pero yung constant dialogue and communication, yun yung key on how we can actually get benefits and good outcomes dito sa mga transactions na ito. Hanggang sige sir.
I-emphasize ko lang ito wag ninyong iisipin na kapag sinisi nyo si Sir James o ako or i-email nyo kami tungkol sa say hindi nakakatugon kaagad ang ating mga program chairs, ating mga concerns, parang kami padrino. Far from being the truth, no? Ang role namin is to remind, follow up, help follow up. Kasi yun nga sa dami mas nakikita ko yan Maski rin on our part sa Student Affairs Office, marami pa kami mga hindi nasasagot na mga questions ng mga students natin. Siguro baka ilan sa inyo ay nandyan ngayon at baka napapangiti kayo at sinagaisa ako dyan sa mga hindi pa nasasagot ni na Sir dito o na Sir James. Yun ang katotohanan. But it would help, no, kung ang inyong i-email ay hindi lang yung isa, kundi parang meron accountability. Kasi kahit pa paano, pag nabasa yun ni Program Chair or ni Dean na meron nakasisi, alam niya na merong iba na napaalaman, na hindi naman yan dahil sa nagpapadrino, kundi parang magpapaalala yung later on. So, pinaklaro namin yan sa MCL, wala tayong padrino system dito. This is more about relationships. This is more about supporting one another, helping one another, assistance, and guiding you and leading you and assuring you that we're here to help. Sana lang unawain natin that there are instances talaga na our hands are tied or talagang siguro yung panahon o yung kakapusan ng oras, no, hindi rin namin siya magawa basta-basta. But we're looking into it.
So, ito yan. Sabi ko, simpleng ano nga lang yan eh. Nagtuturo tayo ng logic. Simpleng logic lang yan eh. Yung, from your end, isa lang yung in-email mo eh. In-email mo yung registrar's office. So, ikaw, isa lang hinihintay mo na reply from the registrar's office. Si registrar's office, ang daming niyang dapat replyan.
Correct.
So, hindi balance yung expectation dun sa bagay na yun. Kasi ikaw, isa lang hinihintay mo. Yung hinihintay mo, marami yung ina-assist ng mga students. So, and yun nga, sabi ko, sa panahon na to, gamit na gamit natin yung mga tinuturo sa English in the workplace. On how to send emails, following or observing email etiquette, di ba?
Sir, medyo ako'y nag-goosebumps, no? Yung volume ng emails ngayon, yung volume ng messages, maski yung personal
email, Facebook.
private messaging, ano ko sa Facebook, yung Messenger. Ako sana, as much as possible, ayokong i-click yun. Kasi pag click mo, parang friends na ba kayo, gano'n? As much as possible, ayoko sana. Pero there are instances na napipilitan gano'n rin. Siguro kasi baka hindi nila pa alam yung SAO page o yung sa registrar's office. Pero meron kami kanya-kanyang mga private messaging platforms. As much as possible, doon sana tayo mag-email. Pero sumasagot naman din kami. Pagka
Basta nakikita.
Oo. Basta nakita. Yan.
So,
Pag cellphone ang hawak sa'yo, hindi mo makikita yun eh. Yung parang hindi mo friend.
message request eh.
Oo, pero pag dito nakikita mo, pwede mo siyang buksan na.
So, may mga gano'n, konting konsiderasyon lang din sa mga gano'n. At sabi ko nga, para hindi tayo nag-expect ng instant reply, itaon natin yan during office hours.
Tsaka makikita nyo naman, minsan sumasagot pa rin kahit alas 10 na, alas 11, meron pa rin nagtatry sumagot kasi hindi na rin siguro makatulog tong iba rito. So, para wag masayang siguro yung panahon, sumasagot na rin.
Huwag yun natin kasanayan. Pero pag nasagot tayo ng midnight, ay laging midnight tayo magtatanong.
Huwag naman natin masyadong i-stretch yung, tawag dito, perseverance ng mga individuals na sumasagot.
And ito yung wisdom din to minsan, saka judgment eh. Kanino ba yung concern ko? Kasi may mga tao na pag walang nagre-register sa isip kundi registrar's office eh, for example eh.
Ang dami.
O kaya student affairs office, di ba? So, streamline natin.
Minsan ikaw yung nagpapasa sa akin.
Yes, mga gano'n.
Or minsan na pang registrar's office, papasa ko.
Hanggat maaari po, ayaw namin nun. Ayaw namin nun. Kasi kayo man, ayaw nyo nung pinagpapasapasahan kayo. Ngayon, paano natin yan masosolve? Eh, di mensahihan natin. Send na natin na mensahe yung tamang tao. O kaya tamang opisina. So, pag enrollment concern, registrar's office. Pag 1MCL concern, IT, help desk ang dapat i-email. Pag scholarship, student affairs office. Student discipline related, student affairs office. Pag academic related, college o senior high school. Pag finance related, treasury office. So, mas mabilis yan. Sabi ko sa inyo, malaking tulong yan sa mga frontline offices kung may streamline natin yung communication at sinesend lang natin sa tao. Bakit? You will be helping us not to have flooded inboxes. Sobrang hirap nun. Sobrang hirap nun. But only if we will be responsible in sending emails, napakalaking tulong yan. We are exploring the option of having an email ticketing system. So our Office for Corporate Communications is now studying that package for the ticketing system para ma-minimize natin yung mga emails na naiiwan in the cracks. So sana ma-materialize na yan in the next few weeks so that we can improve the system. Pero for now, pakiusap po, medyo maging responsible tayo dun sa part na yon para makatulong din kayo na masagot namin kayo effectively and properly. Ang hirap kasi niyan, dahil kasi, sabi ko nga, nung panahon kasi natin, ang text messaging, hanggang ngayon naman din yata eh, pero nung panahon natin, piso. Walang promo, walang only text. Kaya bago ka mag-send ng message, pag-iisipan mo, kung tamang message at tamang tao yung sesendan mo.
Pati yung spelling.
Pati spelling.
Mo,
at i-edit mo yan. Pero ngayon, dahil only text, ang email, walang bayad. Aba, lahat ng gustong i-email, di ba? Gusto i-copy lahat, gusto lahat sendan. Ang tinatanong lang naman, ang tanong lang naman ay tungkol sa scholarship, pero sinendan si Dr. Bea, sinendan ng Presidente, sinendan ka, sinendan ako, sinendan ng Treasury, lahat tinanong. Kami naman nga, sabay-sabay kami nagpakiramdaman. May sumagot na kaya sa kanya? Aba na, wala palang sumagot sa kanya. Ayan, so yun mga nangyayari po yan. Ayaw man namin nangyayari yan kasi nagpapakiramdaman kami kasi in-email nyo kaming lahat. Ayaw naman namin sumagot ng mga concern na hindi para sa amin. Ayaw din naman namin magpasahan ng concerns. Kaya po para matulungan nyo kami dyan sa bagay na yan, let us try to filter our email messages and try to send them to the appropriate office and school authorities para po matiyak natin na nasasagot yung ating mga concerns. May mga nagtatanong dito about the deadline for the confirmation or the conversion of IP grade to numerical grade will be in the end of first term AY 2020-2021. The answer is yes. Nasagot na yung kanina ni Ms. Nats. After selecting my section during the course sectioning, how many days? 48 hours. 2 days po yan. Will there be any discounts offered at this coming school year for the miscellaneous fees? Yes. And how about the laboratory courses? Nasagot na po ito kanina dahil minove yung laboratory courses, na-move din yung babayaran ninyong laboratory charges. So wala na pong rebate na aasahan sa laboratory fees because of the deferment of the offering of some laboratory courses na nakaschedule sa first term. Some of my professors have not replied yet about my IP grades. Yung po, konting follow-up lang po. Once the declaration is done, people who have not done their clearance yet, what shall we do? Ayan po, so we will be posting, this is the first time that we will be posting the tentative list of graduates. Yan po yung isasubmit natin for clearance. So please check if your names are there. If not, wag kayong mag-email sa Registrar's office directly. Ang i-email nyo ay yung program chair. Kasi yung program chair ninyo ang mag-aakyat niyan sa amin at magpapatotoo na kayo ay dapat na makasali sa listahan ng graduating students. Number 1, ang Registrar's office po ay taga-tala. Taga-tala lamang yan. So, kung halimbawa sa game ng basketball, kami ay scorer.
Statistician.
Oo, statistician kami. Kung sino ang dapat iskoran, ang nagsasabi niyan referee. Sino yung referee sa eskwelahan? Yan yung program chair ninyo. Siya ang magsasabi na itong bata na to, itong estudyante na to, has successfully completed the academic requirements and he or she deserves to be considered a graduate for this term. Again, ang trabaho lang po ng registrar dyan ay magsabing noted. Bibigay namin yung score, isasama namin siya sa listahan. So, I'm making that clarification not to pass the burden to the colleges and the academic departments, but again, to level the expectations na hindi lahat ay sa registrar's office and we will be dismayed, we will be disappointed, we will be frustrated that we are not getting the replies that we want. Definitely, we do not want to compromise the academic procedures and policies. That's why we are not answering concerns that are not related to the mandate of the Registrar's Office. Kami po ay sa proseso lamang. Pero yung matter, yung content, yung form, ang college po ang magde-decide niyan. Okay? So once the deceleration is done, ano ba to? Declaration siguro yung tinutukoy niya rito. Mahirap mag-decelerate. Babawasan yung listahan. Who is the program chair of BMMA? Ayan, nasagot na. Ms. Professor Maria Robilia Sudpasert is also the acting dean of the College of Arts and Science. And maybe this is the best time for our students, both old and new, to take time to know your program chairs and deans. Siguro I would like to take this opportunity to request our Corporate Communications Office if we can come up with a page in our website wherein the photos and the contact information of our program chairs and deans and some department heads will be posted. Actually, nandun na yan. Nasa website na yan. May pangalan na sila. So, punta kayo sa website. Nandun sa administration, yung officers and administrators of MCL para alam niyo kung saan nyo sila i-email at sino yung i-email ninyong mga tao. Will there be any considerations for those students who have not paid their back account? Again, contact our treasury office. They are in the best position to give you payment arrangements. My daughter is incoming grade 12. last year we received a voucher from DepEd. The application of the voucher is 2 years. So you can use the voucher for both grade 11 and grade 12. And siguro to streamline the process, can we apply the batch validation?
Explain natin.
Sige, sir.
Ganito po, pag grade 12 po tayo, yung ating anak, kami po ay magpapadala sa inyo ng scholarship validation form na kinakailangan sagutan po ng inyong anak kasi yun po yung nagpapatunay na inyong pong anak ay mag-enroll ngayong term. So, i-validate po namin yon yung voucher last school year na nagamit na, i-validate din po yun for grade 12 naman. Para pag-enroll po ng bata, makikita po yon na naibawas na yung amount ng voucher. So, kung tayo po ay galing sa public school, it's around 17,000 pesos. At kung tayo po ay nanggaling sa private school, it's around 14,000 pesos. So, ang hintayin lang po natin ay yung email from the Student Affairs Office na kinakailangan mag-fill out ng isang Microsoft form na scholarship validation form yung pong inyong anak para po pagbalik niya sa amin noon, pag-revert niya sa amin ng form na yon, i-validate na po siya. Ngayon po, nagsisimula na kaming mag-send ng scholarship validation forms sa mga hopefully ay patuloy mag-enroll sa grade 12. So, lahat po yan sinesenda na namin. Pag hindi po nagbalik sa amin yan, we will assume na baka hindi mo na mag-enroll. No? Sir James, baka magpapahinga or baka ayaw ng pandemic situation muna and hold muna ng isang taon. But of course, with our digital digital choice na kung tawagin, nagagawin namin this school year, makakaasa naman po kayo na safe ang inyong anak sa pag-aaral. So, yun lang po. Yung pong inyong anak, makakatanggap po yan from the Student Affairs Office ng isang Microsoft form na scholarship validation form na kailangan lang niyang fill outan and then i-revert na lang yan ulit sa nagpadala sa kanya. Kasi ma-validate na po siya.
Okay. Magkakaroon po kaya ng face-to-face classes for the second term and third term, Sir Lito?
Kanina po, nabanggit ko, parang related din yan, Sir James, sa pagkakaroon natin ng laboratory courses, no? Ganito po yan, tayo po ay sumusunod sa patakaran ng ating government. Kapag sinabi po ng government natin na wala pong face-to-face, ay hindi po natin po pwedeng gawin yon. Pero ngayon pa lang po, kung sakasakaling magkakaroon ng face-to-face, kung bibisita po kayo dito sa MCL, nakikita nyo na po, ando na ang lahat ng preparation na ginagawa para maging ready po tayo for face-to-face. Depende po yan sa lugar, no? Ang Calabarzon po ngayon ay nasa GCQ. So pag GCQ, hindi pa rin po allowed ang residential learning o yung face-to-face classes. Kaya we will have to apply or make use of our digital technology para i-conduct yung pong ating delivery ng learning for the first term para sa ating mga anak. Sa mga bago po dyan, mga bagong mga students, siguro this is going to be very new to you. Ngayon pa lang po siguro subukan nyo na pong gamitin yung Blackboard Learn. I-explore nyo na po. Meron po kami diyang mga courses, no?
Yeah, we're doing that now, the
CyberCamp
for the new students. So hopefully in a month's time, CyberCamp is a month-long program. So isang buwan na yan.
Humabol yung kaya lang kasi modular naman yan, sir, no?
Yeah.
Ayun, tsaka nga pala po ang ating pag-check kung tayo ay na-orient na as new students, yung inyo pong pagsagot din ng module, isang course po yan about new student orientation. Kailangan po yan ma-comply ninyo bago namin mapirmahan yung inyong post-enrollment clearance para po kayo ma-issuean ng ID. So, marami pong courses ngayon sa ating CyberCamp, ang tawag na CyberCamp na kinoconduct ngayon. Kahit po late, medyo na-late na kayong enrollee, pwede pa pong humabol lang kasi asynchronous yan, no, sir, no? Modular, pwede naman humabol. And you can contact po kung sino yung mga facilitators kung paano gagawin. I-accommodate po kayo yan.
Okay. Would I be able to select the courses I prefer freely or will it depend on the demand of the students? Yung offering po ng courses ay nakabase sa curriculum. Hindi po ito sa gusto natin at saka sa gusto ng iba o yung demand of other people for the courses. So, may mga tinatawag tayo na regular offering and that is based on the curriculum. Yung hindi regular offering that is subject to the petition of the students who would like to take that course, but it requires the approval of the college because we do not want students to be paying at a higher price for courses na pwede naman palang i-offer next term. At ang makakaalam po niya na yung mga colleges dahil sila ang managers ng mga curriculum ng mga estudyante. That's why for concerns like this, please feel free to contact your program chair and your college.
So James, ano bang kaigihan na ang i-enroll mong course ay yung sang-ayon sa iyong curriculum?
Yeah, so definitely kaya tayo merong curriculum, that's your plan. That's the plan, that's the schedule for you to complete your degree or your program dun sa college na nagsiservice ng program na yon. So, yung plano, kaya natin ginagawa yan ay para sundin. So, kung halimbawa babaguhin natin yan dahil may mga ka-berks, merong gustong sabayan ng mga kaklase or something, tayo mismo yung nagdi-distort ng ating curriculum at ang consequence ng distorted curriculum ay number 1, irregular ka, pangalawa, delayed yung graduation mo, or third, napawalay ka dun sa block mo. So baka mamaya dumating yung point na pag gusto mo na o kailangan mo na kuhanin tong course na to, ikaw na lang yung mag-enroll na yan kasi humiwalay ka dun sa block mo. So may mga ganong concerns. And thank you for bringing that up because I would like to always suggest to the students to please follow your program of study and that's your curriculum if you are a regular student. If you are not a regular student, mas lalong dapat yung coordination with the program chair and the deans because you will be what? You will be developing a program of study with them so that you can what? You can be guided on what courses to take in the coming semesters. At napaka-importante po niyan dahil yun yung magiging attachment ninyo dun sa curriculum na na-distort na. Dahil irregular ka, yung program of study which you will be developing with the program chair and the dean. And that will actually give a sense of accountability between the student and the college because that's your agreement. Nag-agree kayo na ito yung mga kukuhanin, na project mo na kung gaano ka patatagal, kung delayed ka na estudyante, at malalaman mo kung kailan ka gagraduate. But then again, let me emphasize that the responsibility of watching over the curriculum is always a watch of the student.
Correct.
It's your responsibility to monitor your progress in the program, and the program chair and the deans are just guiding you in the process. So again, I'm making myself clear that managing the curriculum from the end of the student is his or her own responsibility. Bakit? Ikaw yung nag-graduate. Ikaw yung nagbabayad, ikaw yung nagagastusan, ikaw yung nahihirapan. So, ikaw yung dapat controller ng curriculum mo na yan. Mababawasan lang yung sense of control mo kapag naging irregular student ka. So, yung nabawas na control mo, kanino mapupunta yun? Mapupunta yun ngayon sa college, kaya kailangan nyo mag-usap. Pero kung regular student ka, kontrolado mo yan. Diba? Kasi,
in other words, kung ikaw yung regular student, wala kang problema sa magiging takbo ng pag-aaral mo sa MCL. Kasi hindi distorted yung curriculum mo, hindi bumi-bumi yung schedule mo later on.
And we're saying that na lahat ng estudyante, yan ang i-aim, na manatiling regular student so that you will not have a problem towards the end. And we have a lot of graduating students or those students who have graduated already nag-graduate, nakatapos ng regular student. And yun yung benefit niya na graduate ka on time, hindi ka nagka-problema sa scheduling. So yun, I would like to emphasize that to our to all our students to always keep on track with your curriculum so that smooth sailing tayo dun sa inyong programa.
Tsaka kasi sir, pagka parang sarili mo lang diskarte yung kukuhanin mong course na gusto mong kuhanin dahil hinahabol mo schedule, hinahabol mo barkada, yes, maaaring 1 sem, 2 sems, okay ka. Pero habang tumatagal yan, napipilipit ngayon yung curriculum mo eh. Hindi na siya smooth. Ano nangyayari dyan? merong pagkakataon na hindi ka makakuha ng course na kinakailangan mo kuhanin dahil distorted na nga siya.
Yeah.
And ito ang problem dyan, kung naghahabol ka ng scholarship, nakuha mong units ng time na yun, nung nag-enroll ka, 9 units lang, hindi ka pa pwede maging scholar kasi ang requirement dyan, minimum 12 units. So para makatiyak tayo na regular yung ating pag-aaral, ng ayos lang, please subukan natin sundan kung ano yung sinasabi ng curriculum. It will lessen your problem.
Yeah.
Nandun na tayo, yung pedagogy yata yun, yung gusto matuto with your friends, no? Pero marami naman mga friends na magkakasama sila, yun din, basta nag-stay sila, 20 students na napili sila ng section na yun, no? So, problemahin nyo na lang yan kapag medyo may naiwanan kayong course, pwede naman yung habulin sa mid-year. Pero please, pilitin pa rin natin masundan yung ating curriculum. Okay, para tayong problema.
Nag-email na po ako sa Registrar to send Form 137 to UPLB. Wala po sumasagot sa Registrar. Number 1, Form 137 is the permanent student record. In a regular procedure, yung school, MCL, lumipat ka sa kabilang university or college, dapat yan, nagpapalitan ng dokumento pag ikaw ay enrolled na dun sa university sa kabila. So yung Form 137, let me answer that frankly, that's a post-enrollment, post-admission requirement. Kaya ako din ay nagtataka bakit may mga universities na ginawa siyang pre-enrollment requirement. Tapos ang na-compromise ay yung pinanggalingang school. Diba? So, ano ba yung permanent student record? Ito yung sinasabi ko kaninang honorable dismissal. Ini-dismiss ka ng school from your obligations. Wala pa nga declaration of graduates yung senior high school. Ngayong pangalang araw na to, nakaschedule. So, tayo po ay nakikisuyo lamang na kayo ay bigyan ng honorable dismissal by issuing the Form 137 nang wala sa panahon. Dahil uulitin ko po, yan ay dapat pinapasa ng MCL sa kabilang university pag kayo ay enrolled na sa kanila. Pero sabi ko nga po, yun yung requirements sa inyo, baka naman sabihin niyo ay hinaharang namin yung paglipat nyo sa kabila. Wala pong ganon. Kaya lang meron po tayong prosesong sinusunod. So we have been processing a lot of Form 137 requests of our students who will be moving for college in another university. Baka po ito ay isolated case lang na naiwan yung inyong mga email. Kaya pakiusap po, pasensya na kung hindi po kayo na-replyan. Sabi ko nga, kung pwede ko lang kayong papuntahin lahat sa Registrar's Office, maghawa na kayo ng sakit dyan, di ba? Hindi po ganoon. Sumusunod po tayo sa protocol. That's why we are doing remote processing of transactions. Kaya medyo konting pasensya po na sabi ko nga, ako din naiinis na sa sobrang hirap ng mga bagay-bagay ngayon. Pero meron po talaga siyang limitation. Kaya sana po ay makiisa po kayo sa amin by extending patience na i-follow up nyo po yung mga request na yun through email or call our helplines so that we can issue your documents. Ulitin ko ba, hindi po namin ayaw na i-release yan. Talagang medyo madami lang po at marami na po nagtatrabaho din ngayon para ayusin yan. Kaya lang in the process po ay naiiwan yan sa pipeline. Kaya po follow up lang po tayo. Paano po yung grad pick? Meron po tayong grad pick but not now, definitely, because ayaw po natin, naghihiraman kayo ng toga for the grad pick. Mini-makeupan kayo gamit ang mga brush na sinausaw sa halo-halong makeup na ginamit sa kung kani-kaninong tao. Isa lang dyan ang COVID-19 positive. Malaking problema yan, hindi lamang sa atin, kundi sa ating community. Pero may grad pick ka. Diba? So, magandang. So, we're talking of public health emergency, ladies and gentlemen. We understand that that's a milestone for everybody. We're not saying it's not yet. It's not yet for now. Once we are okay, once the situation normalizes, just araw-araw ako sinachat ng photo studio, wala pa bang photo shoot, hindi pwede. Sabi ko, hindi pwede because it's a national public health emergency that we're trying to contain. And I do believe that most of our parents agree with the position of the school to defer the graduation photo shoot for now. Can students with pending grade 12 can enroll for freshman year? Yes, depending on the number of courses with IP. And that's number one, depending on the number of courses with IP. And second, depending on the a grade timeline between and among the students and the senior high school department. So kapag ka po masyadong matagal, lahat in IP, 15 units, hindi yan matatapos during the mid-year term, hindi po namin kayo mapapa-enroll sa college. Sasabihin ni mother, magpapasa lang naman pala ng final requirement, yung 6 na courses, di pasa nyo po. And once you get the numerical grade, you get 0 units, you are considered grade 12 graduate, immediately on the same day, I will release your report card and you can enroll for college on the same day. Paano po yung rebates namin last term? Magkano po? Iba-iba po ang rebates dahil depende po yan sa mga grades na nakuha ninyo for the term. Ano po ang ibig kong sabihin? Yung rebates po natin ay nakadepende sa mga courses na kayo o mga students ay nag-engage. Ibig sabihin, if you took the course seriously, you obtained a numerical grade for that, you are entitled to the rebate. So, depende po yan sa number of courses na nakakuha ka ng numerical final grade. Kaya iba-iba po yan, hindi ko po masasagot yung tanong na magkano. So, please contact po our treasury office para malaman nyo po kung ano yung rebate na makukuha ninyo, kung magkano, and you will be given options. Do you want to refund the amount or you want to carry it over to the next trimester? May possible date na po ba ng graduation? Wala pa po, pero ang pinag-uusapan natin na earliest graduation ay July 2021. July 2021. So, ano yun? Yun na yata yung ating 19th. Tama ba ako? Commencement exercises. 18th, last December. So, siya magiging 19th commencement exercises. And medyo malaki yan because we have 700 college graduates of batch 2020 and more or less 500 graduates of batch 2021. Malaki po yan. So, yun yung ating next graduation, July or August 2021. Hindi po kami makapagbigay ng dates kasi po, depende po yan sa ating kondisyon ngayon at saka yung sa dami ng mga nagpa-IP grades na yun, sila yung mga susunod na graduating students. And we want to consider them in planning for the next commencement exercises. Paano po maliles yung early reservation at loyalty discount sa tuition fee? Again po, kung ito po ay nabayaran ninyo, parang nasagot ko to sa email 2 days ago. Computer science eh. Babae ito. Ito lang malala yung pangalan. Totoo po yan, sumasagot ako sa email ng admissions, ng registrar, ng personal email, ayan. So, kung kayo po ay nagbayad ng reservation fee, kasabihin nyo po yan sa treasury office, pag kayo ay nagbayad over the counter, para po ma-less yan sa inyong assessment of fees. Kung hindi man po, padala nyo sa amin yung resibo ninyo sa inyong enrollment advisor para kami mag-advise sa treasury na dapat i-less yun sa inyong assessment of fees dahil yung ay magbabayad via offsite. Ibig sabihin, yung Paymaya, ICBC, Nubilier. So, ang makikita kasi nila sa system nila yung hindi pa discounted na fees. So, manual po yan na ginagawa ng Treasury Office kaya sabihan nyo po sa kami para ma-advise namin yung Treasury Office na i-less. Pwede po ba i-take yung lecture lang po but not laboratory? Yes, definitely. We're doing online enrollment. And online enrollment, that's a free marketplace in course sectioning. You may choose to defer the taking of courses, but we are not recommending that because once you defer the taking of courses, you lose control of your curriculum because you are not sure if the courses will be offered in the next term. Ano ang solusyon? Para hindi kayo nag-decide on your own, you talk to your program chair so that you may be advised properly. Ayan. Just a request, can you please discuss the step-by-step enrollment process? Meron po talaga ito nga yung PowerPoint namin eh. Kaya lang masyado kami nahintay sa inyong napakadaming mga questions. That's why we are answering them one by one. So let me go along with our discussion for the student enrollment for the first term academic year 2020-2021. So Sarlito will be staying for the discussion, especially on several items on scholarship validation. So important reminders for student enrollment. Next slide. We have a disclaimer for our enrollment reminders because this is an interim enrollment procedure. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng interim? We do not intend to revise the enrollment procedure. This is just for academic year 2020-2021 because of so many restrictions. We need to be proactive in applying some of the adjustments in our enrollment procedures, specifically for first term AY 2020-2021. These interim procedures will definitely not replace the the procedures in place for our enrollment. Okay? Interim lang po ito para mag-guide yung MCL community on the process. So next, the Commission on Higher Education, as part of the COVID-19 advisory issued last May 2020, has already given the directive for the school opening. Next slide. Also, the DepEd is very much vocal already that the senior high school for AY 2020-2021 will be fully online. For CHED, next slide, advisory number 7 states that the opening of classes for AY 2020-2021 shall be based on the capacity of the higher education institutions' delivery mode, subject to compliance with minimum health standards and situation on the ground. And I think we are all familiar with the directives of the IATF and the government on our quarantine standards. Next slide. HEIs, or higher education institutions, using full online education can open anytime after May 31, 2020. And HEIs using flexible learning can open anytime in August 2020. And HEIs using significant face-to-face or in-person mode can open no earlier than September 1, 2020. Alin po ang MCL dyan? Lahat po. We can offer blended learning, we can offer flexible learning, we can offer a fully online learning program for our new and current students. Next slide. That is why we will be opening the school year this coming August 17, 2020. August 17, 2020. And hence we are issuing these reminders for remote enrollment. Okay, number 1, as part of the new normal, most of the transactions will be via email, except for those that will be done or may be done through one MCL. However, the more we open our enrollment process to what? Online transactions via email, magkakaroon din tayo ng mga data privacy considerations. Kaya, let me remind our current students that all transactions via email must use the MCL live email account in all enrollment-related transactions and communications with the Registrar's Office, colleges, and other MCL office, including Student Affairs Office. Tama ba, sir?
Encourage that, sir.
Yeah, bakit? Kasi yung paggamit ng Gmail, sir, dito, tama, and Yahoo, kahit na sino pwedeng gumamit, mag-sign up for a fictitious email using another person's name. So, napakahirap nun. Mamaya, in-enroll ka na pala na hindi mo kakilala. Pagdating mo sa 1MCL, laki na pala ng utang mo. Kasi ang daming pinag-i-enroll na hindi mo naman gustong i-enroll. O kaya, binago-bago yung load mo dahil nag-email sa Registrar's Office using other person's email. At kami naman, inakala namin ito ay sa'yo, binago namin. So, para wala nang hulaan, for all enrollment transactions will only be entertaining requests using live email accounts issued by MCL. And all students upon enrollment are given live MCL email accounts. So this is now the time for you to activate your live MCL email accounts and make sure it is working. Paano pagka nakalimutan yung password kasi hindi na ginagamit for God knows how long? Email our IT Services Help Desk so that you can request for the resetting of your password. That is part of, next slide, MCL's efforts to safeguard access to MCL issued accounts. So all students are required and reminded to secure their MCL issued accounts like 1MCL, live email accounts. Why? Because all students, all users are accountable for enrollment transactions and revisions made through the use of this account. So, medyo hindi na natin papatulan later on yung mga issues na hindi ako ang nag-login, hindi ako ang nag-send ng email na yan. Bakit? Kasi yung mga issued account sa inyo, kayo ang responsible. Kaya if your passwords are compromised, problema nyo yan kasi pinag-share ninyo, pinost nyo sa Facebook, pina-access ninyo sa mga kakilala ninyo, nung magkagulo-gulo yung inyong mga loading, sino ang sisisihin? Kayo lang dahil sa inyo yung account na yan.
So, sinagot yung exam nyo.
Yeah, sinagot yung exam ninyo.
No, sir, no.
Naglagay ng mga obscene profile. Yan. So alam natin lahat yan. Facebook nga natin, pinapalitan natin ng mga password as part of securing and ensuring the integrity of our passwords and our accounts. Gawin din natin yan sa ating mga live email accounts. So please take time to review the acceptable use policy of MCL's IT resources that's found in our website. And later on, this PowerPoint presentation will be posted as part of the guidelines for enrollment. Next slide. When we talk about enrollment transactions via email, these are the things that you may do through the Registrar's office, through email, program and course, enrollment advising, request for course sectioning. That is the manual process, if not through 1MCL, revision of course load. Again, required po yung endorsement by the college. Kaya kung ayaw ninyong dumaan pa sa college, gawin ninyo yung finalization of course load, movement of course loads via 1MCL sa inyong preferred or sa inyong assigned schedule. Petition to open a special class, request for study overload, enroll with prerequisite issues. Ito may nagtanong na kanina. Paano po yung prerequisite violation dahil may IP? Didiscuss po natin yan, yung proseso dyan. Request for documents through the Registrar's office, even though meron na tayong MST65 form for that. Pero may mga detalye na kailangan through email, gagamitin nyo yung inyong live email account. And all other enrollment-related procedures. Next slide, important dates for senior high school enrollment. We have the following dates. July 31, start of enrollment for regular senior high school students. August 4, last day of enrollment for regular senior high school students. And August 8 to 14, enrollment for senior high school students with course loading or rather course load advising. Ito pong mga dates na to ay nakapost sa ating website at sa Facebook account. Please take time to read them. Baka masyado akong mabilis mag-discuss. Naka-post po yan sa ating mga social media pages. Definition of terms in our next slide. Sino yung regular students? And sino yung mga students required to have course load advising? So regular students are those who have no academic deficiencies in the previous terms and they will be receiving their preloaded courses for grade 12 via 1MCL. While students required to have course load advising are those with academic deficiencies. Sabi ko nga, dahil may mga deficiencies in the past, magkakaroon ng possible distortions yung curriculum ninyo, kaya kailangan ninyo ng advisor. Kailangan ninyo ng enrollment advising required to determine which courses to enroll for grade 12. So yan yung dalawang groups of students ng senior high school for our enrollment. And again, reminder for our schedules on the next slide. Ayan yung ating mga dates for senior high school enrollment. So, in line with that, what are the steps for enrollment? Again, this is for senior high school. Next slide. Ayan. Grade 12 enrollment for regular students. Napakasimple. Two steps lang po tayo. Starting July 31 to August 4, the senior high school department will be opening the course loading in your 1MCL accounts. So makikita nyo na yung mga load ninyo. So kung kayo ay regular students, tapos na kayo dun sa step 1, diretso na kayo sa step 2, which is the payment of matriculation fees. Okay, may typo error lang dito. It should be payment of matriculation fees. Step 1 and step 2. Next naman, kung kayo ay students with course load advising, that's August 8 to 14 yung inyong enrollment schedule. Meron lang kayo nagdagdag na isang step, which is the course load advising via email, wherein the students need to communicate with the course coordinator or the appointed enrollment advisor of his or her strand. After which, you may move to step 2, which is the preloading and viewing of course loading and via 1MCL. And the next step will be payment of courses na o yung matriculation fees. Okay, so yun po yung ating steps for senior high school enrollment. Next slide tayo. We will be correcting the typo errors para hindi malito yung ating mga senior high school students. Again, regular students, 2 steps lang. Which is nagawa nyo na to noong grade 11 kayo. Check your 1MCL. Pag nakita nyo na yung courses, pwede na kayong magbayad. For irregular students or those students who need enrollment advising, email your enrollment advisors. Pag nag-agree na kayo on the courses, they will apply the course loading, check it at 1MCL, that's step 2, and step 3 will be payment of matriculation fees. So some reminders, all students are required to follow the enrollment schedule. No advance enrollment will be allowed. The use of MCL Live email account is required in all transactions via electronic mail. Proxy enrollment will be allowed for parents. Dahil yung mga senior high naman natin ay below 21, hindi sila pwedeng pumunta dito because of the GCQ standards. So parents lang po ang pwede mag-enroll. So pwede yung proxy enrollment if you will be availing the on-site enrollment provided you have an approved appointment para sa on-site enrollment transactions. Course loads of students must be finalized during the schedule assigned to the batch to avoid late enrollment surcharges. Okay? So again, an approved appointment is required for on-site enrollment and transactions like payment of tuition fees and request for documents from the Registrar's office. Yan po yung mga acceptable transactions for on-site enrollment, and an approved appointment is required. The online appointment form may be found in our Facebook page and in our website. Next, important dates for college enrollment. Next. So ito yung mga dates natin. Nagsimula na ito last week. Yung ating course enlistment. So take note that course enlistment data will help the colleges project the courses and sections to be open for the first term. And I hope you have participated in the course enlistment. And I think some of the colleges have already submitted or rather have already posted their course enlistment data and course offerings for the first term. Pag wala po, hintayin po natin na ma-post yan so that you can be updated on what courses to be offered for the first term. Next slide. So, course and program advising for shifters. Ito, medyo maraming tanong to sa amin. Sir, shifter po kasi ako. Nung chinek ko yung course enlistment ng college ko, wala doon yung mga courses na ititake ko. So yan, let me say this, that students with pending shifting applications are not required to join the course enlistment because hindi pa updated yung mga curriculum ninyo. So ano gagawin ninyo? Magpapa-advise kayo sa mga program chair once enrollment is open already. Okay? Pero definitely before your course sectioning, yung mga pending shifting applications na natapos na, meaning umikot na sa SAU, sa CGC, sa mga colleges, we will upload them so that you can participate in course sectioning as scheduled for your batch. So, for advising, email your program chair or dean so that you can be guided on what courses to take for the first term. Next slide. August 1, this is a new schedule, new part of our schedule, Sir Lito. August 1 will be the deadline for submission of applications for discounts such as YGC, Ayala Corporation, and Study Aid. So, inagaan natin yung August 1 para hindi yan maging dahilan na maging delayed ang inyong course sectioning. So, anong ibig sabihin? Ngayon, hanggang August 1, alam niyo na naman kung kayo ay entitled for the YGC, Ayala, and Study Aid, magpasa na kayo ng requirements. So, I'll open the floor for the discussion of procedures to Sir Lito on how we could go along with the submission of application and the other requirements for YGC, Ayala Corp, and Study Aid discounts.
Okay. Thank you, Sir James. Yung ating mga promotional discounts, and they are as follows. Number 1, we have the YGC promotional discount. We have the Ayala Corporation promotional discount. These are two discounts coming from the fact that your parent, one of your parents, is actually a regular employee of a company, a member company of YGC or Ayala Corporation. So another promotional discount is sibling discount. At ito yung nangyayari lang kapag meron kayong kapatid. So maaaring kayo ay second sibling, third sibling, at depende sa inyong pagiging sibling, kung ano mga ordinal number yan, mas mataas yung rate ng inyong discount. Another is yung tinatawag nating MCL Study Aid. Kapag kayo ay anak ng isang empleyado ng MCL, entitled din kayo sa discount. 50% yan sa tuition fee and sa inyong sa inyong LFD. Yung Ayala and yung YGC 25%. Yung sibling discount 10, 25 and 40 sa tuition fee lang. Depende kung pang ilang kayong anak ng inyong mga magulang na sabay-sabay nag-aaral dito. Ngayon, ano ang ginagawa ngayon ng Student Affairs Office? We are already emailing the Microsoft Forms, nitong mga forms na ito, specifically yung para sa MCL Study Aid at sibling discount. As for the YGC and the Ayala Corporation promotional discount, ang sinesend namin sa inyo is yung PDF fillable form na kinakailangan fill out ng inyong parents at ng HR manager ng inyong parent. Now, may mga pagkakataon na may mga na-experience kami na because of the pandemic, hindi magawa itong ganitong bagay. We would allow yung pagsasubmit ng certification ng employment. So, parang ano lang yan, accommodation sa panahon ng pandemic natin ngayon. So once you have received these forms, kailangan immediately maibalik nyo sa amin yan. So meron tayong sinet na deadline dito, August 1, Please, let's try to do that. Kung hindi pa kayo nakakatanggap, you may now start to email Edelweiss Armando. Pero ako yan, nakatitiyak na nagsisend na siya since Monday or since Friday last week ng mga regular natin na nakatanggap na nitong mga promotional discounts ito. Pero yung mga ngayon lang nakaalam nito, sabihin nyo lang kami, email nyo lang ang Student Affairs Office. Ako specifically, ang Hilito Platino or Edelweiss O. Armando, pwede siyang email para kayo ay makatanggap ng form nito na yun na ipapadala sa HR ng companies ng inyong mga magulang kung saan sila doon ay nagtatrabaho. So yan yung mga promotional discounts natin dito sa MCL na kinakailangan ay ma-comply natin yung mga required documents natin and forms sa date na nabanggit sa atin. Okay, na-i-announce sa atin. So, yan yung ating mga promotional discounts. Ngayon, sir, pwede ko na siguro ipasok yung sa, sa scholarship natin, sa academic scholarship. Ma'am, pwede pang natin, ipakibuksan natin yung slide number 11, no? Ito ay para sa college, scholarships and financial assistance. Yun. Kung naka-appear na siya, i-discuss ko lang to. Kasi marami tayong mukhang first-timer, no? Nag-i-inquire sila, hindi nila alam kung ano ang mangyayari, no? Let's go to slide number 11. Slide number 11 tayo. So, ito yung academic scholarship. Yan, hintayin lang natin parating na yung slide number 11. Academic scholarship. Okay. Slide number 11. Yan. Okay. So habang hinihintay natin, siguro i-start ko na siyang i-discuss. Lalabas na yan. Okay, ito yung regular nating academic scholarship na ino-offer, no? Ipapaliwanag ko lang yung pinagkaiba, konting-konting pinagkaiba ng academic scholarship natin na i-implement sa first term on the basis of the TWA or term weighted average no third term. So discuss ko muna tong regular, no? Sabi dito, academic scholarship, recipients of this scholarship are MCL college students who belong to the top 10% of their academic program and achieved a minimum TWA of 1.75 in the previous regular term. So ito yung regular natin, regular provision for academic scholarship. But for the first term, no, napapasok, ang basis natin nung third term ay hindi 1.75 kundi 2.00. Alright? 2.00. Yon ang pinakamababa na term weighted average na pwede pa rin mag-qualify for academic scholarship. Kaya, yung may mga nakuha diyang 2.00, siguro magala kayo ng konti kasi baka may chance kayong makakuha ng academic scholarship bagamat mas mababa sa 1.75. So, ang benefits niyan, kapag ang grade niyo ay 1.5 hanggang 1, ay 100% tuition fee discount and LFD pag ang term weighted average ay 1.5 na and above, no? Now, kapag ka lower than 1.5, mean to say 1.5 to 1.75 kung regular term, pero ang ina-apply natin ngayon ay 2.00, 50% tuition fee and LFD discounts yan. Now, of course, for you to be able to retain your scholarship during the term, you must not have any disciplinary action imposed on you for a major offense. Ang major offense na usually na maaaring ma-incur ay academic dishonesty and the like. Okay? So, yung pagkakaroon nyo ng major offense, i-disqualify kayo niyan sa scholarship. Ngayon, kapag kayo ay nagkaroon na ng student disciplinary record for any major offense, kayo ay ma-disqualify for scholarship. Hindi na kayo po pwede maging scholar for academic scholarship. Kahit kailan. Isang beses lang tayo magkaroon ng disciplinary record for any major offense. Now, kapag nangyayari yon, ng term na yon, pwedeng alisin sa inyo yung scholarship na yon. Okay? Dahil nagkaroon kayo ng major offense. Alright, now, bakit nako-compute yung grade, no? Yung TWA? Answer, because walang hindi na kumpletong course. Lahat ng course na comply. So, kanina may tanong, pag may IP po kami, may IP po ako, pero na-complete ko naman ngayong mid-year term, hindi na pa rin po ba ako qualified sa scholarship? The answer is yes, because hindi nako-compute yung iyong TWA nung mag-end yung term na yon because of an IP grade. An IP grade is actually also like an incomplete. Hindi nako-compute ang ating TWA kapag tayo ay may mga ganyang grades. Incomplete, IP, C, at saka, ano ba isa? Ayun, and the like, no? So, kailangan iiwasan natin yan para tayo magkaroon ng academic scholarship. Okay. Now, puntahan naman natin yung sa senior high school. Sa senior high school naman, tingnan natin itong, ayun, slide number 17. Ayan. Ang similar or kaakibat niyan or katumbas niyan sa college, ng academic scholarship, ang katumbas niyan sa senior high school ay tinatawag nating academic achievement incentive, no? Wherein the recipients of this scholarship are MCL senior high school students who belong to the top 10% also of their strand, and they have achieved a minimum TWA of 90 in the previous regular term. So 90. However, for this incoming first term, ang basis is third term, pwede nang ang nakuha natin is 88. Basta pasok tayo sa top 10% nung strand natin. Okay ba yun? Basta yung strand natin ay tayo ay pasok sa top 10%. Now, how much would the benefit be? Ganito yan. Yung top 10% kinukuha natin, and then kukuhanin natin yung top half tsaka bottom half nun. For example, ang top, halimbawa, ang isang strand A, no, ay merong 600 students. Therefore, ang kanyang top 10% ay 60. Di ba? So, 30 yung top half, 30 yung bottom half. O yung upper half tsaka bottom half. Ano ngayon ang makukuha nung nasa upper half? Ang makukuha discount nung nasa upper half ay 50% tuition fee discount para sa first term. And then yung nasa lower half naman, or the rest of the qualifiers, ay 20% tuition fee discount naman. Again, to retain the scholarship, same requirement tayo. You should not have any disciplinary action imposed on you for a major offense. And kapag kayo nagkaroon na ng disciplinary record for a major offense, you are already disqualified for scholarship for the remainder of your stay here in MCL. Now, tatanungin nyo ako, nagkaroon na ba ng ganong case, sir? Sasabihin ko sa inyo, nagkaroon na ng ganyang mga cases. Alright? So, normal naman ho nangyayari ang ganyang mga bagay-bagay, no? Siguro dahil gusto ma-maintain yung scholarship, gawa ng isang pagkakamali na talagang pagdating ng takdang panahon ay pinagsisisihan. So, yan yung ating academic scholarship and academic achievement incentive. Okay? Ano ba yung pwede natin i-discuss tungkol dito sa ating mga all students na scholarship? I think that's about it, no? Baka ito ay itanong, ano? Sir, tuloy po ba yung ating athletic scholarship? Alright?
Yeah, marami nagtatanong niya.
Oo. Ito ang position ng ating CFO tungkol dyan, no? Sapagkat tayo ay hindi magkakaroon ng panibagong mga pa-tryouts kung sino ang pwedeng ating maging athletic scholarship, ay ang maaari lang maging athletic scholars natin ay kung sino yung remaining nating mga athletic scholars. Inulit ko, maaaring maging scholar natin. Kasi it still depends on the recommendation of the coaches. Siyempre, kung hindi naman siya in good standing, ba't siya i-recommend ng coach? So in other words, maaari tayong magkaroon ng athletic scholarship, pero ito'y limited na lamang doon sa current rosters natin na nandyan pa sila at sila ay re-recommend ng kanilang respective coaches. As for new, malabo pong mangyari because hindi po pwede tayong magkaroon ng tryouts for the meantime. But once nagkaroon tayo ng tryouts at may nakita ang coach na may potential at mukhang okay naman, siguro, sana baka pagdating ng second term or second semester naman for senior high school or sa third, doon po pwedeng magkaroon tayo ng mga panibagong mga magiging athletic scholars. Okay? What else? I think yung iba para sa mga new students na, Sir James.
Yeah.
Yung iba. So, I think, yung loyalty discount para sa bago rin. Pero, students natin na senior high school, pati yung DNA of Excellence. Pero, sa ibang forum natin dito.
Yeah, so maybe you can set another forum on the scholarship lang.
Yung incoming natin dito graduate. No?
Okay. So let's continue with my presentation on the calendar of activities. Or rather, calendar of enrollment activities for the first term. So we're now in slide 22. The schedule, important days for enrollment for college. By the way, yung deadline for submission of applications for discounts, baka ma-confuse lang kayo. This applies, yung August 1, this applies to both senior high school and college. So, yung mga senior high school na mag-a-avail ng voucher, validation, tsaka ng mga discounts, your deadline is also August 1. So, next, we have August 5 online course sectioning for batch 2019, August 6, batch 2018, and August 7, batch 2017 and prior. Lahat ito ay via 1 MCL, which we are going to open from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So, matagal na tong every enrollment na lang, biglang may mga magsasabi, hindi pala active yung 1 MCL ko, hindi nabubuksan, hindi maka-access dahil itong ISP provider ko ay ganito. So meron na tayong dalawang identified na ISP provider na binablock yung 1MCL. I think that's Royal Cable and Sky Cable. So our IT services have already contacted them last enrollment period and hopefully na-correct yan. Pero sabi ko nga, i-check nyo na kasi nakikita nyo, doon nyo naman tinitingnan yung mga grades ninyo. So para sigurado tayo, i-check nyo na kung nakaka-access kayo ng 1MCL para hindi kung kailan 5 a.m. ng course sectioning ninyo, tsaka kayo mag-email o kaya tatawag sa help desk. Definitely, wala namang sasagot sa inyo sa telephone. Dahil karamihan sa mga staff nga natin ngayon ay skeletal workforce. So please take time to check your 1MCLs to make sure that it is ready for the online course sectioning this coming August 5, 6, and 7. So, next slide, as mentioned, our scholarship validation is set on August 1, 2020. Next slide, August 8 to 14, we'll have the revision of course load. Again, yung schedule natin ng course sectioning ng August 5, 6, 7, malaya kayong magpaikot-ikot, magpa-move ng section during your course sectioning schedule. But once we move to August 8 to 14, revision of course load, you cannot do that via 1 MCL na. You can only do that through the Registrar's office, which we are requiring through email as endorsed by the program chair or dean. So the registrar's office will not be accepting direct emails from the students na nagpapabago ng course load. Kaya sabi ko nga, dapat nagawa nyo na yan during the course sectioning last August 5, 6, and 7. This time, kailangan natin ng endorsement from the program chair and the dean. So next slide presents the step-by-step process for revision of course load. Step 1 is the request for revision of course load by the student. Saan yan isa-send? Sa RO? Hindi. Isa-send nyo yan sa program chair and dean or dean. Pag nakita ng program chair na pwedeng pagbigyan yung revision of course load, ang program chair ang magsisend niyan sa registrar's office at kami ang mag-update ng inyong course load. In the student load assignment module of the RO, and we will email you once it is done so that you can do the payment of adjusted matriculation fees through our offsite payment channels or through over-the-counter payment channels here at MCL, provided you have an approved appointment. Next is on the petition for special classes. Again, hindi po pwede itong direkta from the student to RO. Yan po ay dadaan sa program chair at dean at aakyat yan sa Vice President for Academic Affairs for approval. At yung Vice President for Academic Affairs ang magbibigay sa amin ng go signal na pwede nang i-update. Question, paano namin malalaman kung approved na ang petition classes? I-email kayo ng registrar's office, that's number 1. Second, i-advise kayo ng program chair na pwede na kayong mag-enroll dahil na load na sa inyong 1MCL ang petition course. At ang pangatlong paraan, pinakamabilis, alam naman natin na meron kayong petition courses, tutukan, bantayan yung 1MCL para malaman natin kung updated na yung ating course load for that particular term. Next slide. Another one, next slide. We have request for late enrollment and revision of course load. Itong proseso na to will be accommodated starting August 15 to 21 only. Sir, late na yan, definitely. That's why we do not want late enrollees. So if you want to not to miss any of the activities in Blackboard Learn, since we are fully online, make sure to enroll before the class opening this coming August 17. Again, late enrollment and revision of course load beyond the deadline, that means August 15 to 21, will only be accepted by the RO as endorsed by the college. So this is our step-by-step process on how to file for late enrollment and revision of course load. Ang laging step 2 natin ay endorsement by the college from the registrar's office. Next slide, August 17, as mentioned, is the start of classes, and please help us ensure that as we open the school year this coming August 17, everything is ready and you can start the online learning activities by August 17. Other concerns, next slide. All students are required to follow the enrollment schedule. No advance enrollment will be allowed. Nabanggit ko ito kanina sa senior high. This is for college naman. Proxy enrollment is allowed for parents. Kung parents ang mag-enroll dun sa mga students na below 21 years of age na hindi pwedeng lumabas ng bahay. And once again, the use of live email account is required for all enrollment transactions. Next slide. Allow me to reiterate that an approved appointment is required for on-site enrollment transactions like payment of tuition fees and request for documents from the Registrar's office. So nandito sa Facebook page natin yung announcement on the appointment system. Next slide, and late enrollment fee will be imposed to students who went beyond the regular schedule for course sectioning. Enrollment after given schedule, failure to participate in the course enlistment, course sectioning, and enrollment starting August 8 for college and August 15. Ito yung mga papatawan ng late enrollment fee. So para hindi tayo ma-charge ng late enrollment fee, mag-enroll tayo on time. Next slide. Next slide pa rin. Students are highly encouraged to use one MCL to select sections to enroll for the current term. Again, since we are encouraging remote enrollment, one MCL lang yung pwede nating gamitin for course sectioning. Next slide. For special classes, these are courses that are not offered in the current term, which the students may opt to petition for offering in the first term of AY 2020-2021. Please take note that it is subject to the approval of the BPAA as recommended by the college. So wag sumama yung loob natin kung hindi ma-approve yung petition courses or sections dahil that's part of the basic control measures. Hindi tayo pwedeng open lang ng open ng courses. Para malaman kung approved na yung petition courses at na-load na, please check your 1MCL account regularly para malaman natin kung approved na yung petition courses at na-load na siya ng RO. Next, we have payment of school fees. Next slide. These are our off-site payment channels. We have PayMaya, Cebuana Luwilier, RCBC, both over-the-counter and online banking, M. Luwilier. Take note na yung RCBC, M. Luwilier, Cebuana Luwilier, yan po ay bills payment, hindi yan deposit. So please make sure that we are doing the transaction correctly. For PayMaya, that's real time. Makikredit yung transaction for PayMaya instantly. But for Cebuana, RCBC, and M. Luwilier, please allow 24 hours for the posting of payments. The next part is on FAQs, which I am going to skip because anyway, I have discussed most of the concerns earlier. And we will be posting the slides in the website and in Facebook. Ayusin lang namin yung ibang mga dates and the ibang mga text para malinaw yung ating guidelines for first term enrollment. For enrollment-related concerns, I'm in slide 55. These are our helplines again. Let us be patient and considerate in our helplines. Ito po ay nag-ooperate lamang from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. from Tuesday to Friday and 9 a.m. to 12 noon ng Saturday. Pag lumampas po dyan, wala na po tayong employees na sasagot ng calls and text messages. And allow me also to reiterate na yung mga questions or queries na mahabang discussion, tumawag na lang po kayo sa helplines kaysa mag-email para yung lahat ng discussion ay masagot during the call. Kaysa yung mag-email tayo tapos 5, 6, 7 follow-up or reply, matagal yung palitan ng email. Kung tatawag kayo sa helplines, mas mabilis yung response and mas mabilis nating makuklose yung transactions. Again, email the Registrar's office if you have enrollment-related concerns. On the next slide, this is our posting for the appointment system and the operating hours of the Registrar's office. Next slide, if you have concerns on what? Finance-related concerns, please contact the Treasury Office. All the contact numbers of our Treasury Office are also posted in the website and Facebook, so please check them out so that you can have your finance-related concerns accommodated and answered by the appropriate office. And lastly, for one MCL-related concerns, please contact the Information Technology Services Office. And since we do not have landlines, or rather we have landlines pero wala pong sasagot from the help desk, mas maganda po ma-email ninyo yung helpdesk at mcl.edu.ph for one MCL related concerns. Okay, so yun po yung ating guidelines for the enrollment. As mentioned, we will be posting this in our website and in our Facebook page. Bigyan niyo po ako hanggang bukas to post them so that you can review them from time to time. And also, what is our next schedule for CyberTalks? Again, we're making it a point that CyberTalks will be our way to talk to our current students so that if you have concerns on academic services and the student services, you can talk to the appropriate officers we have here. Professor Angelito Platino of the Student Affairs Office. So, meron ka ba bang idadagdag, Sir Lito? Medyo 2 oras na tayong nagsa-CyberTalks without strep seals. Our next CyberTalks will be on July 30. That's Thursday. We'll have it in the morning, 10 to 12 in the morning. So, join us for CyberTalks this coming Thursday, July 30. So, kung may mga concerns kayo sa guidelines, tamang-tama, ipopost natin yung guidelines bukas. Pag may hindi klaro, isend nyo, sumali kayo sa amin sa CyberTalk sa July 30 so that we can clarify the confusion on our guidelines and we can attend to your concerns. Sir Lito, baka meron ka on the Student Affairs Office?
Yun lang, no? Siguro maging proactive tayo sa pagsasubmit nung isi-send sa ating mga digital forms, no? Ni Edelweiss o Armando, siya yung ating scholarship coordinator sa Student Affairs Office. Pag hindi kayo nakatanggap, siguro until Thursday, feel free to email her at isisi nyo ako, no? Sisihin nyo ako. Dahil sisi nyo ako, sama nyo ako para mapaalalahanan. And if in case kami yung may kasalanan dito, hindi ko pinapangako to, no? Pero yung April 1, tingnan natin kung ano pwede mangyari. Okay, pero
August 1.
Doon tayo, yung August 1. Pero stick tayo sa August 1. We will try our very best na ma-send sa inyo lahat yung mga required forms. Pero pag bago kayo, no? Particularly yung mga ngayon lang nakaalam ng Ayala Corporation Promotional Discount.
Sa Facebook.
Nasa Facebook naman niya, paulit-ulit pinopost dyan. Kinakailangan mag-send kayo ng email kay Edelweiss O. Armando, E.O. Armando, at mcl.edu.ph. Okay, mag-send kayo ng inyong message sa SAU page natin, sa private messaging ng SAU page natin. So, we're excited na sa ating next school year. Ang bilis ng panahon, this is not the normal way by which we do things. Pero sabi nga tough times don't last. Tough men do. Yeah, ba yun? Mali yata yung pagkakasabi. Ano ba yung pagkakasabi? Tough times don't last, but tough people do. So, let's continue to be tough. Kaya natin kung ano nangyayari ito. Importante lang, we keep on connecting, collaborating, and catalyzing change sa ating paligid. Okay? Sa ating school. Thank you.
Okay, so meron ba tayong mga concerns? Shall we include RCBC over the counter that will be paying for installment? Actually, ang reference nyo po sa lahat ng over-the-counter payments ay GSA. Ang GSAs ay makikita nyo po sa 1MCL. So, yun yung reference ninyo. Kaya make sure before you get the GSA, your discount, your scholarships are validated and it's reflected in one MCL, so that once you pay for your matriculation fees through our offsite payment channels, tama yung lalabas na, or rather, tama yung mabayaran ninyo. Okay? If you pay via PayMaya, for example, first installment, can we use a different payment channel for the second payment? Yes po. Kahit po lahat ng payment channels ay ma-explore ninyo, mas gusto po namin yan so that we can all be comfortable with offsite enrollment transactions, offsite payments, because as mentioned, we are supporting the government in its efforts to contain the infection, and we do not want MCL to be a reason for people congregating in one place. That's why kung pwede po sa mga offsite payment channels, i-avail po natin yung mga ganong facilities. Okay, so thank you very much for more than 150 attendees who joined us for CyberTalks.
Dami ah.
Yeah, but we have 87 attendees who stayed. Mahirap nga naman kapag kaluto na yung lomi saka ginataan ng 3:30. Nagsasalita pa si Mr. Messina dito, saka si Sir Lito. So naunawaan po namin yan. Anyway, we'll be transparent about this. We'll improve the recording in the next sessions of CyberTalks. And we will be posting the recordings in our YouTube channel. So please take time to check all our CyberTalks there. Also expect that pagpasok natin ng August, pag-open natin ng first term, CyberTalks will be focused on key topics about enrollment, about academic and student services. So our next session will be this coming July 30, Thursday, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So kung yung mga new students ay merong viewpoints, ang current students naman ay merong CyberTalks. And later on, we will be launching our Cyber Lounge. That is our online meeting with parents. So we are developing MCL as a cyber campus, and we do not want to discount the type, the form, the effectiveness of engagement and collaboration among ourselves and to our stakeholders, specifically the current students and the parents, so that we can all be on the same page as we surpass the limits in the new normal right here at Malayan Colleges Laguna Amapua School. Okay tayo sa dito?
Sabi ko lang, let's continue to surpass the limits of the new normal, but we can only do that by staying safe.
Yeah, and
yun ang key dyan.
definitely.
Sundin natin yung sinasabi ng government sa mga protocols ng health natin, social distancing, physical distancing. Tayong mga taga-Malayan ay sumusunod sa batas.
Okay.
So, stay safe at sigurado we will surpass the limits of the new normal.
Okay. So, again, thank you very much for staying tuned to CyberTalks. I am James Ronald Messina, and the Assistant Vice President for Academic Services. And I'm talking here on behalf of the Registrar's Office. And with me is Professor Angelito Platino of the Student Affairs Office. Maraming salamat po, and ingat po kayo. Join us for another series of CyberTalks this coming July 30, 2020. Salamat po, and magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Salamat po.